Two of the world's biggest powers are fighting for influence, and the battleground isn't where you'd expect. It isn't Washington, it isn't Beijing. It's Malaysia. Quietly, this country has become one of the most important pieces on the global chessboard. Geography and shipping lanes. Malaysia sits at the southern entrance of the South China Sea, directly beside the Strait of Malacca. This waterway is one of the most critical shipping lanes on Earth. Roughly 1/3 of all global trade passes through it. Oil from the Middle East, consumer goods from Asia, and resources from Africa all move through this narrow passage. For China, it's a lifeline. For the United States, it's a pressure point. Whoever has influence in Malaysia holds leverage over one of the busiest trade routes in human history. China's economic strategy. China has been pouring money into Malaysia for over a decade through its Belt and Road Initiative. New ports, industrial zones, and railway projects are slowly tying Malaysia closer to Beijing. These investments don't just build infrastructure, they create long-term economic dependence. By financing large projects, China secures access to local markets and builds loyalty among Malaysia's business and political leaders. To many Malaysians, Chinese money looks like progress. But to Washington, it looks like influence slipping away. America's security role. While China invests with money, the United States works with security. The U.S. Navy has long patrolled the South China Sea, ensuring free passage for ships of all nations. Quietly, Washington provides Malaysia with maritime training, surveillance technology, and occasional joint exercises. America doesn't build flashy railways or skyscrapers. Instead, it builds defense relationships. These ties give Malaysia confidence that if tensions rise in the region, it won't face them alone. For Washington, this is a way to keep a foothold without writing billion-dollar checks. Why Malaysia matters to everyday Americans. This might sound distant, but it's not. If the Strait of Malacca were ever blocked or controlled by a single power, the impact would hit American households. Oil and gas prices could surge. Global shipping costs would climb. Products made in Asia, from electronics to clothing, would become more expensive. The fight over Malaysia isn't about a faraway country, it's about keeping the global system stable so ordinary Americans aren't paying the price at the pump or the checkout counter. China's military presence. China's ambitions aren't limited to money. Its growing navy frequently moves through the South China Sea, and Chinese Coast Guard ships have had close encounters with Malaysian vessels. While China doesn't want open conflict, its presence sends a clear signal: Beijing wants to be seen as the dominant power in its neighborhood. By contrast, Malaysia tries to walk a fine line, accepting Chinese investments but resisting too much Chinese control. Malaysia's balancing act. Malaysia doesn't want to choose sides. It relies on Chinese trade and investment, but it also values America's security umbrella. The country has a long history of balancing foreign powers, dating back to the Cold War. Today, that balancing act is harder than ever. Each decision Malaysia makes, whether to accept a new port deal from China, or to join a naval exercise with the United States, carries consequences. That's why both Washington and Beijing court Malaysia so carefully. Regional competition. This struggle also ties into the wider rivalry in Southeast Asia. Neighboring Singapore already hosts strong U.S. ties. Indonesia is another rising player. But Malaysia's unique location on the Strait of Malacca gives it leverage that no other country has. Both powers know this. China sees Malaysia as a gateway to secure its energy supply. America sees it as a key partner to keep sea lanes open. Neither side can afford to lose influence there.